Eddie?
Yep.
Let's do it. Welcome to the Sofa Kingdom podcast with your host, Nelson.
Ian.
Ed.
I totally waited for Ian to start eating.
Never fail.
And didn't pay attention to it.
Never fail. All right.
It's something that I love to do. You
I know.
should
You're
understand.
good at it.
It's one of my favorite
You're really good
pastimes.
at it.
Wait for Ian to eat, and then be like, "Hey, Ian, what do you think?"
Are you?
I'm still struggling with this. It's never going to end. I'll never figure this microphone out.
It's like a fight for survival over there with that microphone. Yeah.
All right. It's a love-hate relationship.
That's
how it goes.
I say we dive right into it. I'll let Eddie take the lead on this video game bonanza.
The Game Awards
Game
came
Awards.
by. Jeff, I'm not going to try the last name because I'll butcher it. Did a show that actually a lot of people were like it was good because better than previous years at the very least. But a lot of trailers dropped, starting with Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, Norman Reedus. Norman Reedus has life after The Walking Dead.
It's one of the few games that's on my list for when I pick up a PlayStation that I am going to pick up and play.
A lot of shirtlessness in that video game cameo.
Yeah,
though.
Norm there was,
Yeah.
but I mean, when you're a video game, you're like, yeah, give me some abs, and we're good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Norman don't look like that.
All the abs, none of the crunches necessary to get there.
Nope.
I was never interested in The Walking Dead as
No
a
chicken
show.
and broccoli, just skip right to the end game
Yeah.
of like, look
Yes.
at me.
And I'm not interested in this game either.
I'm interested in it purely because of how odd it looks.
Yeah. You play the first one?
I haven't played. No, the first one is the reason why it's
First one's supposed to be weird as shit.
it's on the list with God of War for games that once there's enough games to warrant me picking up the console and spending a huge chunk of time, then I'll pick it up. Like the VR was going to be one of my big things, but then they went and they dropped the price of it and no
Right.
backwards compatibility.
Sure.
And I'm like, well, I wanted to pick it up to play last generation's VR titles into the new ones, but with no backwards compatibility, like
It's not worth it. But
It's-
you're,
yeah.
you're a PlayStation aficionado.
Yes.
Did you like the first game? Did you play it? Hear any good
Death,
reviews about it?
Death Stranding was too weird. And I heard mixed reviews.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of the trailers I watched for it, it was just like a guy running across a strange planet with a bunch of shit packed on his back that it looked like he could not carry. Like, people used to do these things, they would run with this amount of shit piled up. That
Yeah.
There's no way any human being can move with that much stuff.
it was called a walking simulator by some people,
Yes.
but the people that loved it really loved
So
it.
it was Lord of the Rings, just the part of the
Yeah,
If
it
they
was-
were all over encumbered.
They were,
yeah.
yeah, it was.
all over encumbered and just walked and walked
Yeah.
and walked.
It is
Yes.
over encumbered the game.
Yes,
So
exactly.
did they embody like the Chiquita banana lady, just like stacking things
Yes.
on top of her head?
Right, you
like-
could have called the game "The
Yes.
Can't Carry Anymore Experience." Fucking ridiculous.
But it's
Jenga the game.
It's Kojima who always has kind of an odd take on a lot of things, and it's
I usually liked Hideo Kojima though, because I stepped away from Metal Gear when he did.
I
I heard he
I-
wasn't part of it.
I think they're not reining him in as much on this, so he gets to kind of be a little more out there. And with the success of the first one, I suspect the second one will allow him to really
But you know
play
what? It's
into
super
more of
weird.
that as well. Yeah.
I encourage that. Let people find their inner Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Right? Like, let them loose. Let them
Does
give
anyone
you their
want this
vision.
glazed?
Go for
No,
it.
we got more there. We're good.
Yeah, yeah.
Just making sure. I don't wanna
And
be
for
a dick.
better or worse, allow new ideas to enter
Yeah.
the market.
I mean, a bunch of the trailers on the list, they look like From Software games.
yeah.
I mean, they
I literally
really
said
look
twice.
like
I was like, "Is this from somewhere?"
yeah.
No,
and
not it.
and they're not, but like that aesthetic is something that can be portrayed well.
Yeah.
And a lot of companies are like, that's what we want to do.
Yeah. There was definitely no light-hearted video games that we were really looking at. I mean, there were, but it was like
Everything
the
looks
best,
like it's a nightmare.
the best looking games
Everything
were
looks like a nightmare.
Yes.
nightmare-esque, Hellraiser, like God of War vibes, like
Like
Yeah.
between Remnant 2 and Lords of the Fallen, it looked like
Yes.
the same game.
Yes.
It looked like the trailer
It
never
does.
ended.
But
If you cut out 2 seconds that's in between the trailers and slap them right next to each other, you'd be like, yeah,
same game.
this fits.
Yeah, but the one that stood out for me was the one that was made by BioWare.
Oh, Judas.
Judas look fucking bad.
Yes, from the guys that did BioShock.
Yeah.
And it's been a minute since they did anything, so this game is guaranteed.
It looked amazing. It looked creepy. It had a similar yet different aesthetic
It
to
looks like
BioShock.
it looks like where they could have taken BioShock if they had the chance to swing at another one.
Yeah, I'm all for it. That's probably that and Tekken look like my two favorite
Tekken 8
games to
I've
come
always
out
been
of
a
that.
Street Fighter guy, but I'm not gonna lie. Between the two trailers,
Yeah, the two trailers, like
Tekken
I
got
didn't
me.
I didn't
Tekken
see
took it home.
Tekken
I didn't
took it
see
home.
anyone in Street Fighter that I really
to
genuinely
play.
cared about.
Right.
Not
Tekken
the
had
big Italian lady.
Tekken had everybody like bring them all back home.
Yeah.
Like come on.
But I think that they're gonna lean into their old characters, but what they wanted to show in that trailer was here's the new.
Don't
you
do
know?
that. No.
And
For your
that's what they
game
leaned
reveal
in on.
trailer, don't give me the new
Yeah.
characters. If I go to your concert, I don't want your new songs. I want the fucking hits.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If I'm at a
Hey,
big
yeah, ding dong.
yes,
Play yeah, ding dong. Like, you guys don't want to hear my new song? Play yeah, ding dong.
He's going to play it.
yeah. if I go to a festival where there's like 100 fucking bands and you only got 30 minutes on stage, fuck your new song. If that new song is not a new hit, I don't want to hear it. I want the songs that you know I came here for.
Yes.
Yeah, but as an artist, that's kind of suck, right? Like only in music can
Play
you
your old
force
stuff.
somebody to play that one song over and
like-
over again.
Get to more cowbells and move on, sir. We
Yes.
don't want to see. Maybe squeeze one new one in there. They could have showed the new characters really easily, but the entire trailer for Street Fighter was all new characters, and there was nothing in there that was like, wow, yeah. It was like you're fighting with the spirit of Ryu, but not with Ryu. No thanks. Give me
Yeah.
Ryu.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Or give me his genuine successor. No one in there looked like this is his successor. Like
Yeah.
Ryu was now the teacher in the background.
Look.
Tekken 8 really kind of made the Street Fighter trailer look kind of crappy.
I did.
It
'Cause
really-
you were looking at Jin and Kazuya,
Yeah.
not
it
their
really
spirits.
did. No, and the way that they move, the animation, everything looked fucking
The
tight.
graphics
tight.
on the
Yeah.
graphics look amazing on a lot of the games that they announced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the fighting games, and those were the only two fighting games that it looked like. And you were saying that it looks like they're leaning into an open world for Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
a
heard-
fan of
no,
fight
never mind.
games with open worlds. I think
Remember that
because-
Mortal Kombat one that sucked?
it was
Oh,
fucking
so-
horrible.
it was so
Dragon
bad.
Ball Z, to me, I lost interest in the franchise when they went from like, here's the fighter with 100 characters, love it, to let's walk around, let's buy an outfit. And I'm like, no, I
Like,
don't want to do that. I just want
either-
to fight with my fucking characters.
Yeah, it's like either make an open world adventure in the world or make a fighting game. It's hard to do both on the budget for a single game.
because something
Diablo 4
lacks. Go ahead.
looks fucking crazy.
Yes.
Diablo 4 looked fucking insane.
I mean, I didn't even know what was happening.
There wasn't.
Yes.
The
I don't.
phalanx of heaven. And I was like, this is insane.
I don't think there was much actual like fight gameplay in there, really.
It was
But
literally
I
a
didn't
movie.
care.
It was
The
a movie.
trailer
I didn't
itself,
care. I'm in.
Like
I'm
that's
ready to go to war.
If the story's what brings you in, and people love the Diablo story,
Yep.
they made a right approach.
They're riding high off 3 and the remake of 2.
Yeah,
Please
because
have couch co-op.
it's
Yes.
Please
Please
gonna
have
be
couch
similar
co-op.
to
Yes.
that. I think they're not gonna steer away from their original.
There's so
formula.
few games with couch co-op. Somebody's got to keep it alive.
Yeah.
So hopefully they do keep it
It's
in
their
there.
thing. Lean into it hard and keep it going for your fans, and give a new story. Like that trailer, man. That trailer was, I don't know, it was probably the best trailer as far as like, damn.
Like
Yeah.
telling the story of
I'm
what they're
in.
trying to do.
Yes.
It
yes.
it definitely brought exactly what you're like. Yeah, I know what they're attempting. They're attempting a literal war against hell.
Yeah,
But-
like Tyrael looks pissed.
Yeah.
Tyrion's like, I came to hell.
Yeah,
For you.
but on the other side, like, let's shit the bed like Bayonetta. Like,
Oh,
holy
yes.
crap! They took a game where, well, let's
Like,
be honest, I
no.
never gave a fuck about in the first place, but it had a really good theme
You
song.
give so many less fucks about it now.
yeah,
yeah.
going in
But-
for the kill was one of the best.
I love how
like,
Ed fucking knew how bad it was going to be and didn't tell us.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
He's like, wait. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
what?
Yeah, no.
What are you waiting?
RGT 85
Yeah.
broke it down real well. I was watching some of his coverage, and I was like,
Is, that,
"Oh,
is he
man.
related to R2D2?
No, he's
All right, then fuck that guy. So What I was saying was,
I was listening.
but-
no, please. Continue.
Bayonetta, the character itself is supposed to be like a sexy character who half the time is fighting half naked because her hair is her weapons.
Yes.
She has
Her hair is
hand
covering the
cannons
parts of
for
her.
shoes.
And actual cannons.
And it's supposed to be like an action combat, like Devil May Cry-esque style fighter.
Capcom makes
And
it.
they turned it
So,
into
yeah.
like what looks like a children's game.
Yes.
It looks like Okami. Like
Yes,
that old,
Yeah.
that
it
old
does
game for the
look a lot
PS2.
like Okami,
For PS2.
which is a interesting art style for a very story-driven game.
And a game that was centered around.
But
cleavage.
Bayonetta is not a story-driven
No,
game.
It's a fanboy
It's
game.
not.
It's a fan pleaser.
Yes.
Often the story is so convoluted in Bayonetta you can't even fucking follow it.
No, it's
Yeah.
just a big action piece game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're looking at flashy lights and other
Just
things.
and hand cannons.
And other things.
Yeah, I am not interested in that game whatsoever, and I do not want to play it. So
Well,
fuck that.
The
shit.
one thing that really has me given high hopes for Diablo 4 is because Blizzard needs to do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Overwatch 2 was across the board, everyone thinks it's a giant turd.
Yep.
And it's basically like Ed said, it's just a repolishing of the first one.
Yeah.
Right,
in a sense.
And
So-
it's amazing because it's the same mistake they made with Warcraft.
When they tried to remake Warcraft 3 and it was
with
fucking horrible.
StarCraft, where
Yes.
it's a forced update
Yeah.
to the new game, and then you have to sign a new user agreement, which takes away all your rights from the previous agreement.
Right.
So all the character created stuff and all the things that people made in creation mode no longer belongs to them.
Right.
Now it belongs to them, but now it belongs to the company. But with Overwatch, what they also did in that was a whole new monetization strategy, which is almost what the entire game revolves around, is just selling you shit. It's no longer about
right.
the game and the fun. It's like, oh, now that we got players, we're going to force
'Cause
them
that's
to
what I
update.
want to do.
And the update broke for a lot of people because you had to have an account and a phone number attached to the account. And some people that were playing in certain other countries, their phone numbers wouldn't work or couldn't carry over.
I heard it was
So then
awful.
they
It was a
lost their
terrible
first
experience.
game and they couldn't update to the
Well-
second, and they got stuck in like a loop.
It's like that
So-
one comedian said. It's like, we have food over here.
Yeah.
So why are you in the desert? Bring your fucking phone.
Sam Kinison.
Start playing over here. If you're out in the desert, you lost your shit. Fuck you. You deserve that shit. Come back over here.
So Diablo is all they have. Diablo
yes,
is all they
it
fucking
is.
have.
But
It is.
see, game updates like that also, it's
They
not just
alienate people.
It's not just for countries like that.
When I buy the game, I bought
military.
it. I
Yeah.
bought
U.S.
it. I want to
U.S.
play it.
military.
It was a
fucking
joke, Eddie.
downloaded
They
it?
can't.
It was
They
a
end
joke.
up not being able to play. And,
So Blizzard hates the troops.
it ends up being,
Wow.
in
Wow.
particular,
Wow.
a lot of
Fuck you,
people,
Blizzard.
a lot of the military, especially in the Navy,
Right.
where they can't have their console online. They're on a ship. They're supposed to be secretive of where they're at in the ocean, or
They'll
they're
hate
on
Blizzard-
a submarine.
they'll hate
Like
Blizzard pinging their fucking location.
Oh shit.
there was
Oh,
tons
shit.
of
Blizzard
issues.
is communist.
Yeah. Blizzard's working for Russia.
Fucking commies at Blizzard.
If you want to talk about the commies at a company, look at what Apple did with their airdrop over in China. No need to get into that when we're talking about all the games, but it was
Pretty bad.
definitely pro-China
Yeah.
and not pro-freedom.
Damn it.
Now, Armored Core was one that you pointed out.
Ah, I have not played a giant robot game in years, but I remember all the fun me and Shay used to have playing Armored Core 1 on the PlayStation, just shooting each other. with
Good
a
old
giant
mech
robot.
game. Why
Yeah,
not?
and the trailer looked good.
Yeah.
Bandai Namco's behind it, and they're doing a great fucking job later. The Tales of Arise, the Tales of Arise game I just played from Bandai Namco, amazing.
Yep.
So I'm completely on board with it. I can guarantee you I will be picking that up when it comes out.
And it is interesting to see how many, like, Tales of Arise, that's a remake.
Yeah.
The next Tales is another remake.
Well, Tales of Arise isn't really up. That's actually a new one.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a new one in the.
Is that
actual
the new
thing.
one? Because
Yeah.
I know
Vesperia
Vesperia is a
Definitive Edition
remake.
Is a remake, yeah.
Because I played that one years ago.
Yeah, I still can't finish that one because I sat it down to play God of War.
Because a lot of
second
the
time I beat that game
JRPG,
down.
like almost like half of the JRPGs right now are remakes almost. It seems like they're
I have a weird take on that.
some of these companies are trying to
Yeah.
bring back either bring in new players through the old games or a little bit of bring the old players back with
But it's
nostalgia.
all the same. Like at least Tales has always been kind of an action RPG.
Yes.
Kind of. Like Final Fantasy VII, the remake, is an action RPG. I will never play that, and the reason I won't play it is because I played
think-
Final Fantasy VII.
I think
I
you-
enjoyed it.
I
It
think
was
you could set it as a turn-based as well.
Yeah, but
I'm not 100% sure of
It's
that,
not
but
the
I
same
think
for me. It's not the same. I did it. I played it. I played it already. I love the game. I don't need to play the remake. Like,
Yeah, but what they really need to do is bring back games with like cultural appropriation. That's what I love. Like, bring back like Double Dragon and make like 2 Caucasian men at the head of the game franchise, right? And they're like, why is this called Double Dragon? But the
Was it
2 white
Billy-
guys are
Billy
beating
and
up
Jimmy?
all of the Chinese guys.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
it's Billy and Jimmy, right?
It's Billy and Jimmy.
Yeah. So fucking bad. So fucking
Well,
bad.
you know, but like if you're gonna remake some games, like let's dive deeper. I want Altered Beast. I want Golden Axe. I want Bonk's Great Adventure. Bring back some of those motherfuckers.
Fucking
Golden
Songs.
Axe, that's a
Great.
proper co-op game right there.
Yeah, Paperboy. Well, who gets their papers delivered by a bike anymore? It would just be like somebody throwing their cell phone at their door. Or just some kid at a computer like, here's your digital copy.
They do an Amazon driver game.
None of the newspaper companies want you to know you can just get it on your phone now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, but there was a bunch of good games.
Final
Hades-
Fantasy-
Similar aesthetics.
Hades 2
Hades
is trying to follow
2
himself.
looked pretty
Shit.
cool.
Now, Hades, the first one, is probably one of the best games ever made. And it's
Probably. Indie game? Indie game, it might be hands down.
Yeah.
It might be.
So-
It was that good. It was that
and
good.
I think it's Supergiant. I don't think they've ever
Supergiant.
done sequels
Yeah.
to any of their games.
No, but this was their game of the year.
So
like, this
this
was their baby.
is like, I mean, they were standouts in
Everybody bought Hades.
all of their games.
Everybody.
So, but I think Hades really took them to another level. So them attempting their first kind of sequel and to what is plausibly their biggest game, and on many people's lists, one of the best games created.
Yeah.
Is going to be interesting. I mean, the trailer looks.
I'm nervous. The trailer looks good, but I'm nervous because it's hard to catch lightning twice.
Yeah, it's
It
like
is.
how
I mean, you fucking.
because the not just the story, but the gameplay was amazing. How can they add onto what they had there and not ruin what they had at
They
the same time?
Probably can't. It's
Right.
probably going to be similar gameplay with.
But they got to cash
'Cause-
in on their name
Yeah,
now.
and
They do,
I gotta say,
definitely.
because Hades is a type of game that, in general, I hate playing. I hate roguelike games, but this game was so good that I easily
had to keep
put
playing.
it on the top 10.
You had to keep playing.
I had
you had
to.
to keep dying.
It was a
and keep fucking
phenomenal
playing again.
fucking game.
Yeah, it was good. I wanted to see what else was out there. I had to keep.
They managed to
find
not.
out.
Okay.
They managed to have you die and die often and not hate the game. You didn't feel like you ever died or for some bullshit reason. You're like, fuck me, I should have rolled.
Yeah. You
You know?
you accepted it because you're like, oh, I'm back at the bottom of Hades now. All right,
And
let's work our way up.
let's go.
There's there's so many games where like you die and you're like, oh fuck you, what a cheesy bullshit way. Like,
The Souls games.
yeah.
Yeah. Sekiro.
Comes back to Too Human. When you died, you could there was a Valkyrie sequence.
Yeah.
And then she would just slowly float down. You would hear the music. You're watching whoever's still alive fight, and they're like, "Come back!" And she's slowly creeping down. She's reading a book. She's like, "Oh, I think I'll bake some muffins." Bakes some muffins. Finishes descending. Picks your body up, and then you think, "Oh, you would just disappear and then come back." No, she starts floating all the way back up. You know, she's
They're
fucked.
guaranteeing
It's
your
a-
teammates die.
It's such a shitty sequence.
It's like a 45-second death sequence
Wow.
to a game that just wants you to fight and fight and fight repeatedly, the same boards, die, and what do they call that kind of a game, Eddie? Like
MOBA?
like
It's kind of a looter shooter, yeah.
yeah. So
Well, I know one game I'm bittersweet about, and that's Final Fantasy 16. It looks good,
it looks amazing.
but
It looks more adult than all of their previous outings in Final Fantasy.
I am worried that it's just going to be random action
Yeah.
RPG, like all the Square Enix games have been
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah,
Just
but
regurgitated fucking
but to
action
be
RPG
fair,
bullshit.
their digital dogs looked amazing.
yeah.
The hair
The
on their
dog-
dogs, I was very surprised.
It's going
Was
to
it?
take more than a well-rendered dog to get me back into Final Fantasy.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm in with the dog.
The-
Let's go.
I'm gonna say right now, if it comes down to what game do I pick up in June, Final Fantasy 16 or Diablo 4, I'm going with Diablo.
Yep.
4.
I'm going with Diablo, as well.
for now. Yeah,
I'm
that
sorry.
looks
You're
like
not,
the better
you're not
choice.
pulling me away from Diablo.
And we can all play on the Xbox together.
Yeah,
We could.
it works perfect.
If I was gay.
Well. I'm not gonna touch that one.
Suicide Squad
There's
showed a
sometimes-
little bit more, but they didn't. But it really didn't. Like, it shows more interesting concept,
But we don't know what type of game it'll be.
It didn't show gameplay really.
No, is
No.
it going to be an Arkham style? Is
And
it-
a lot of the trailers were kind of that, but some at least showed some. This didn't really show any.
No, it didn't. It is Kevin Conroy's last.
It
appearance
is.
as
It
Batman.
looks like to be plausibly his last outing as the Batman.
And if they're smart, that's what they'll lean into. Like you were saying earlier, they'll just lean into the fact that it's Kevin Conroy's last game. Don't show any gameplay footage because that could fuck up sales potentially. Lean in hard on this is his last game. We're saying goodbye. His voice is in it. That should be enough for you guys to play the game.
And then and then when you play it, it's just literally like Pong.
It looks like Bayonetta.
Yeah.
It looks like Bayonetta.
This is a shitty.
oh, no, that's a bait and switch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Release the game for only $25. Oh my god!
I
Brand new
would,
game.
I would almost respect it though. I would almost respect it. I would play the game. I'd be like, you know what? I paid for this. I'm gonna play this shitty game.
Well, you always know a game is going to be bad when the reviewers aren't allowed to put out their review until the day of launch. If they allow it for like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ahead of time, like, oh, they're confident that the reviews are not going to fuck up their sales. But if they're holding back,
God of War, like reviews were out a week before the game even came out.
they were like, go ahead, put out your review. But when they're like, no, you're not allowed to review embargo until midnight of the. But no, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a company hiding from the fucking
Yeah.
issues.
Like IGN's reviews were like, "This is a fucking 10. This is a masterpiece." I was like, "What? What? Like what?"
Damn, I can't believe I've never played a single God of War game.
I mean,
And
The
it
ones-
looks
the
like
ones
a
with-
game that I would absolutely love for mythology reasons.
Yep.
For gameplay reasons, like there's so many reasons I would play it, but the main reason that I don't is because I own an Xbox.
the ones on the PlayStation 2 were good, but like they were kind of the same platformer.
Yeah.
He fought with the whirly blades and shit, and the whole way up to God of War 3, that's the way it was.
Right.
The series was supposed to end. He killed the Greek gods. The world was destroyed, and that was it. That was supposed to be the way it ended. And then God of War, just generic that name, God of War, showed up on the PlayStation 4. And now it's Kratos has fled Greece, and he's got a family, and he's in Norse mythology. And it was a whole new...
He's
and
fighting
now,
off the Norse guys.
yeah,
Yes.
now you're no longer looking from like a sideways view or a back world view. You're looking over his shoulder. Like you're like, it's up close and personal.
Yeah, that's dope.
And I never played any of the original 3.
Yeah.
I never did. I saw my brother play it. I saw my best friend Brandon play it. I never fucking ever picked it up. I was like, yeah, it's not my thing. I'm a JRPG guy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know. But I am so glad I picked up God of War.
So it's a third person?
You're kind of looking over his shoulder, yes.
It's a Gears of War angle over the
Yeah,
shoulder.
I love Gears of War,
Yeah.
by the way. So
But
I
the
wouldn't mind
combat in God of War is definitely the highlight. Like
Yeah.
it always has good. If you like Norse mythology, you're gonna love it. But like the cinematography and the way the game is shot, it's beautiful. Like me personally, I love Jormungandr, the World Serpent. Oh my god, the way they did him in in the PS5, unreal, unreal how good this looks.
I'll have to take your word for it because I have an Xbox.
It's okay. Yeah. You guys also have good stuff. I mean, I told you guys, if you're a JRPG guy, you have to pick up Chained Echoes because you guys get it for free. I got to pay $34 for it if I want it. So I'm working on God of War.
It just sounds like a Sherman-Williams brand of paint.
What, Chained Echoes?
Chain Echoes. Sounds like I'm going to be painting my house fuchsia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Chained Echoes. I'm hearing good things.
well, what's it about?
It's a JRPG game. It's turn-based, and they said it got all its inspiration from the early Final Fantasies and Chrono Trigger. And if you look at the sprites and stuff, it is. And the artwork is well done. They said the characters are extremely well developed.
Right.
And it's literally it's a tribute. It's an homage to those games that we used to play on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Before even PlayStation 1.
But you know what, though? I'm not into Sprite. I like Sierra Mist a little better. Tastier. No?
Jedi Survivor.
All right. Jedi Survivor. Yes.
So it's a sequel to the last Cal Kestis Jedi game. The previous one was actually excellent. Fallen Order.
It's Spider-Man with Jedi.
It was. Which
Yes,
is not
yes,
it's not far off,
basically.
but it's an action adventure platform. More, you were a Jedi. You were in the first one. You were running from the fact that you were a Jedi. You were
Is that
hiding.
the one on the junkyard planet at the start?
Yes.
Okay.
You're, it's an excellent game.
Fallen
The first
Order?
one. I want to say it was
I
Fallen
think it was
Order.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
I heard good things about that game too.
Yeah, it's a great game, and this looks like a nice sequel. And it looks like they're not doing the amnesia, start you over, you
Good.
got no powers again.
Good, they do that. way
Which
too
is
often.
always annoying, especially for sequential games like this, where you're like you got all the way up to this like tremendous level of power, and all of a sudden you're nerfed back to the fucking beginning.
Hey man, they
Yeah.
do it in God of War.
Like-
I'm pretty sure I ended the game with fucking full Valkyrie armor and all my weapons upgraded, but somehow I'm still that guy.
That
with
was
plain
something
ass.
that they
Yeah.
managed to do with Mass Effect, where they did it in a way where the one time where they reincarnate you was like, all right, that makes sense. You got to restart, but like.
Yeah.
There's some carryover.
Yeah.
Like when you have such a big game, you get to the end, and you're like, I'm maxed out. I got all the fucking powers.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't wall run anymore?
Yeah.
What? Where's my lightsaber? What the fuck happened?
I can't
It's
run
like,
on
wait,
a wall?
I was an expert level marksman, and now
Yeah.
I can't hit a can at 10 feet?
That's how it goes.
What the fuck?
But it looks like it's going to continue the story, which is nice, and it's a couple years into the future of the character. It'll be interesting to see what they do, because it's hard to carry over that many powers into a new game and not feel like you're starting out
Okay.
overpowered.
Right.
Right.
But they definitely added some things. They had like a 2-hand lightsaber in there,
and Eddie loves the two-handed.
with the almost like a long sword with the hilt, which is
what I
only
heard
what's
about
his
him.
name has. But it should,
Kylo Ren.
yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
You got the big nose.
Because they had the dual wielding, they had the dual sided saber
Right.
in the previous game, and you can change and build your lightsaber and make it your own and all that other kind of stuff in the first one. But it'll be interesting to see if they lean into also making it canon with the rest of everything else that's happening.
I'm excited. The big thing I'm excited for coming out of the Star Wars universe, not fucking Andor, is the remake of Knights of the Old Republic.
Ooh.
That's what will get me back into playing a Star Wars game.
I'm just
Because everyone constantly says that Knights of the Old Republic for the Xbox was like the greatest Star
Yes.
Wars RPG ever made.
I've said it before, and we were talking about it earlier. It's like all they need to do is reskin Skyrim in the form of a Jedi story, set it just anywhere but Andor.
But that's not fair. That's not fair because you could reskin Skyrim for anything.
Right.
You can fucking put
But do it for Star Wars. They've done it in some respects.
Somebody's probably made a mod.
They've made
Probably.
mods for
I've
it.
seen mods for lightsabers, but for instance,
No, I'm talking about a whole world rebuild.
That's what I'm getting
Skyrim-style
to.
Story.
If you made Paul Blart Mall Cop a Skyrim style game, I'd fucking play it.
Bro,
There
if I
was-
could just do the slide and then low crawl over to cover, like I would do.
there
that.
was
Yeah,
a
I would
mod.
play
There
Paul
was a
Blart.
mod for Skyrim that was so big and so popular, it became its own game, Fallen or Forgotten City.
Oh, shit, there you go.
So that was the guys originally. It was a mod, and I don't know if you can still get it, but it was a mod for Skyrim,
And,
So
and,
many
it, and it
mods.
added an
many.
entire like almost chapter.
Yeah.
It might as well be,
Nothing will ever beat
and it was solid enough that it became its own game.
the Randy Savage Dragon mod. No one will ever beat it. Ever.
Oh yeah.
Yes, when you turn that first dragon that shows up with it's Macho Man Randy Savage.
That's
I-
fucking good.
I offer you the Thomas the Tank engine for
I
Fallout.
have seen that one. That's terrible. That's horrifying. That's fucking horrifying. They also did Thomas the Tank Engine for Skyrim too,
Yeah.
which was really eerie. Seeing a train come flying in from the mountains, you're like, oh my god.
I don't want that. I don't want
Yeah,
to see
no.
that. That would fuck up my childhood.
But we just need Elder Scrolls 6. Like, how much of an asshole is Todd Howard that 4 years ago he just dropped in at like a video game convention, teased us with the Elder Scrolls 6 trailer, and then fucked off, disappeared.
Yeah,
gotta
was.
love it.
Yeah, I thought it was like here's an idea, but he did a
Here's
full.
that thing you want really bad.
And you can't have
Shuts
it.
up for 4
He
years.
did.
For
He
4
did.
years,
He
no
just did
sound.
a podcast with
Lex Friedman. I saw
Lex
that.
Friedman,
And they asked
And
him, when is it coming out?
he talks about all of it, and he's completely candid about the whole thing
Yeah.
because they only really work on one game at a time.
yeah.
Right.
So they have one
Which
game.
is why it's so good.
They have one game they're genuinely working on, and then the next game they're workshopping ideas and theories and things like that. But they're in alpha. They're not really doing much other than like when it's time to go, this is what we're going to do.
But that's probably the smarter way, considering
Quality
the
over quantity.
quality game that they've put out over
So-
the years. You know?
So
That's
they
why people are still buying Skyrim.
So I
they
mean,
just don't do the James Cameron.
they will have
Every
a game.
12 years, we'll have a sequel.
Yeah,
Please, God.
that's a bit much.
Please, God.
That's a
So-
bit much.
You guys want to see part 2? We'll be back in 12 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, Starfield will be their next game
You're
that
not gonna
will
see it, Grandma.
that will be coming out, and then they'll move on to their next thing. But that'll give them 3 IPs. So now they'll be swapping out Starfield, Fallout, and Elder Scrolls. So it's gonna be these big chunks of time. But look how long Skyrim has genuinely lasted.
It's true.
So it's not like the game comes out and it dies immediately.
If
Like
only
the
we could-
game lasts you at least a year.
It's still very,
Especially
very
if you're, like,
relevant to
going
play
in
anytime.
and
If only
playing
if
all
only
the
battle
missions.
system of Skyrim could be put into the depth of Morrowind.
Yeah.
Like with all the aspects that Morrowind had, if only you could put that like with the I don't know, because Morrowind there was light armor, medium armor,
Yep.
heavy armor. Like there was athletics and acrobatics. Like the more you ran or swam, your athletics would go up.
Yes.
I remember my one character, I just had him swimming up and down the river at Balmora, like boosting his athletics.
I
Acrobatics control how high you jump.
Yep.
yeah, I
like-
remember in Oblivion, as I would walk around the city, I would be jumping.
Yeah, to get your acrobatics up.
Yes, because
You
it
look
would
like
it
a
would raise
psycho.
your
You're just like,
acrobatics. And then
This
once
guy's like
It would
hopping
also-
7 feet in the air.
It would also erase your arthritis in your thumb and
Oh,
wrist.
fuck yeah.
or I would walk around the town sneaking all the time.
And
Like,
then people could make those potions to fortify acrobatics, and you would
Yeah.
literally jump out of a city like some kind of a Dragon Ball Z character. You just the Hulk. You'd
yeah,
leap.
I believe though I believe he talked about those features of like really making your own spells. Like it was just breaking the game too easily.
There was a thing where like when they downloaded the upgrade, and you got Morrowind and had the expansion pack, and they put Stolzheim in the Blood Moon expansion. It was an island up in the northwest that was actually technically part of Skyrim, and it was in the 3rd game, way back. And like you could get to this island, and the way to get to it to cheese it was in the beginning of the game. You could find this like scroll that fortified your athletics by 1,000 and your acrobatics by 1,000. Problem is, you could run. You're such a low-level character. If you run and jump that fast and that high, when you land, you're fucked. You're gonna hit the ground like an asteroid. Like you're gonna die. But what will happen is people figure out the exact place to use it at.
Yeah.
So you'd use it. You'd fire yourself into the air, and if you look down, you can see the land going. Like loading screens are flying by. You're like, holy shit! Your
Oh,
character's just
man.
flying through the air. You would land in the water, like
Next
30
to it.
yards offshore from Stolzheim. And so you could literally just start swimming to shore, and you were safe. You would go from the beginning of the game to the expansion pack in one jump, and it was the greatest fucking thing
Where
ever.
there's a will, there's a way.
But if
right?
you messed it up,
You're dead.
You're dead.
You dead.
You're dead. You slam into the ground.
But
that's game over.
those things like
Game
that is
over.
what makes their games feel real. Like he
Yes.
was saying, like wherever you are in the map, everyone else in the world is actually going along their routines.
Right.
In other games, they don't do that.
Right.
It's only the mission. In other games, it's only the mission that you're on.
Yeah.
Those relevant characters are the only ones doing their. Everyone else is paused.
Yeah.
In their games, everything is active.
You know what is funny though too? Like sometimes in some games, these little quirks would happen where like the blacksmith that you need that you're buying shit from, like
Yeah.
you're in front of the gate, you're talking, a dragon comes to attack, the blacksmith is outside,
Dies.
he gets murdered, and you're like, they don't have a replacement blacksmith? Like you're just out of blacksmith.
He's just
you
dead.
gotta go somewhere else. You're like, this is fucked.
Oh,
Dude.
you could seriously fuck up your game in
I,
Morrowind.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
had
God.
I had that happen in Skyrim on like that first small town. You got the gate, you come through, you got the blacksmith that's right there, and the town person right here that owns the shop, and they're both outside when the dragon comes out. I'm like, I got nothing. I'm in the first town.
Yes,
I'm low
yeah.
level, and half the town is fucking dead.
Skyrim is one of those games that I would notoriously never start the main quest because I don't want to deal with dragons.
Right.
I don't want to come out of a fucking Draugr hole that
Right.
like I have no potions left. I'm diminished. I literally just went in there and fought a Draugr lord for his treasure. What the fuck do I not want to see when I walk out of the cave? A frost dragon. Fuck that. I would literally start the game and I would be like, all right, where you want me to go? Where to Whiterun? I'm going this
other
way.
way.
I don't give a shit. I'm not going anywhere near Whiterun.
Yeah, once it got into
fucking
like,
game.
for me, it was once it got into the political intrigue where like, pick the side of the army you want to fight. I'm like, I don't give a shit about either of your armies.
Stormcloaks
Both
versus
of your
the Empire.
sides
Oh,
seem
man.
like
All right,
assholes.
but did you go to the Empire or did you go Stormcloak?
But little did you know that behind the scenes, the Aldmeri Dominion was pulling the strings, orchestrating Civil War.
I did
There
one-
actually is a way to get Ulfric Stormcloak and the leaders of the Empire at a table to counsel. If you don't start the war later on, you can actually bring them to a civil agreement, a ceasefire, so you can unite against the Aldmeri Dominion.
I don't remember.
That's pretty
know.
I
sick.
don't
Yes.
remember if I got him to a
gotta be a
ceasefire.
I've never been able to do that,
'Cause
but
I
I've
played-
chose both sides.
I played
yeah.
everything
Ulfric's
of
an
the
asshole.
game.
Oh, he
Ulfric
is.
is an asshole.
Oh,
I
he
played
is.
everything of the game, and then when I got to those, I played both sides for as long as I could until they start trying to force you to pick.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I went from there.
Well, Ulfric can use the voice.
Yes.
Ulfric can shout. He's,
Yeah.
and they like people forget that. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, no, Ulfric Stormcloak knows the voice. That's why when he's in the cart with you, his mouth is taped shut.
Yeah.
Yes.
The thing is, the Stormcloaks follow him because they're like, oh, he defeated the old King of Skyrim in combat, and it was fair and square. The old King of Skyrim was a child, and Ulfric shouted him to death. These people are following this guy. Ulfric Stormcloak
Nobody follows a loser, bro. They
used the
follow
voice.
winners.
He used the voice to shout a child to death. That's your leader.
The kid fucking deserved it.
Well,
Wrong place, wrong time,
I
motherfucker.
tend to side with the
Wrong
Empire.
place, wrong time.
I
motherfucker.
tend to side with the Empire.
You know, I used to be an adventurer until I took an arrow in the knee.
Yeah, Skyrim is legendary.
All
It
right,
is.
all right. So we've definitely talked about video games. I wanted to end this on a different note.
God.
I wanted to ask you guys, from your experiences with Christmas and the holiday spirit,
God.
what
That's right.
was
It is that time of year.
yes, what was the best gift you got for Christmas and the worst gift you've gotten or given to someone for Christmas? And we'll start with bests, right? Let's start with best
Yeah,
and,
best,
and
best
on
is a good way-
worsts.
Yeah,
We'll start with you, Ian. What would you say your favorite, your best? It doesn't have to be big or grandiose. Just something that, man, when I was a kid, I really wanted this. I got that. Or
I mean, I really hate to go back into like the world of video games, but it would probably be something like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Like opening up like a game you really wanted. Like for
Yes.
instance, like when I opened up Grand Theft Auto 3
yeah,
for the PlayStation. Like it's like PlayStation 2. Like it would change your life.
For us, for me,
And then me and my brother sitting down in our Christmas pajamas with like
Playing.
a fucking stocking full of beef jerky, like
Yeah.
thousands of milligrams of sodium, just being like just eating hundreds of Slim
Yeah.
Jims and playing these fucking things. It was amazing.
for me, it was the Nintendo. When I got that Nintendo, the very first one,
Yeah.
I think we all played Mario Brothers just for
Yeah.
Look how we all came back to
hours,
video games.
bro,
Look how
right?
we all
It
came
did,
back.
yeah.
Look how we all came back.
It was definitely the Nintendo for me. In
The
my
one I
childhood.
remember
Yeah.
better than Nintendo, because I'm a little younger, was the Genesis.
Yeah, Sonic the
Okay.
Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a Super Nintendo kid. So to me, it's that Super Mario Super NES console you stuck in. Well, first
Yes,
glue the
yeah,
cartridge,
yeah, yeah.
you stick it in the top, you pop that switch on the left up, and then you and
Yeah.
dude.
So his name was Cartridge,
Yes. His name was
and you
Cartridge.
blew him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Blow the man down.
That's right. It was good. Those were good times.
yeah.
Those were simpler times.
So for you it was
Oh,
the
you
Sega
fucking
Genesis.
kids making life
Genesis.
hard.
For me it was the Nintendo, and for
Probably
you
the
it
Super
was
NES, probably.
Super NES. Yeah.
I mean, it was just I don't know. I remember now like the Chrono Trigger. Like a lot of people. Well, actually, right now on Facebook there's a JRPG for people over 30.
Yeah.
It's like a subgroup. They're having a battle. What's the greatest JRPG of all time? It's between Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger. So we're still waiting to see what the result is. They'll post the results at the end of the day. But anyway, I remember like now if you try to get a cartridge, like a Super Nintendo cartridge of Chrono Trigger,
Yeah.
like they're selling for like $300 minimum.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I remember I bought the actual cartridge from Hollywood Video when they were selling their games.
Yeah.
They were selling all their Super Nintendo games to make room for other stuff. I bought it for like $10.
Yep.
That's how it goes,
And
man.
I don't know where it. Shay probably has it somewhere.
Yeah,
But I
some
had-
of
I had
the
it.
some of the older games, because it's limited supply, and
Yeah.
people back then they weren't collecting them.
No, they
It's-
weren't. It
it's
was a
like-
different time.
It's the same thing like the original comics, the original trading cards. Nobody was collecting them, and then at
Wow.
some point, people got old enough where they're like, "Man, I want that thing I used to have."
I don't even wanna
Good
talk
luck
about trading
finding
cards.
it.
I know.
I had a
Comic book
holographic
collections and things.
Charizard, bro.
Ah.
I had a holographic Charizard, and it was stolen from my house when Shay had a
Fuck.
party.
Oh, Shay!
Yeah, but anyway, now I see they're selling for like $100,000 and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that'd be really nice to have right now.
I own.
And apparently trading cards are going up in value right
Yeah.
Oh,
now.
wonderful.
I owned a Black Lotus, and I owned a Mox Sapphire and a Mox Ruby.
You had a Black Lotus.
Yeah, so right now,
Yep.
What happened to
a
it?
Black Lotus from Magic the Gathering.
Yeah,
Oh
what
no,
happened?
I sold it.
Yeah,
I
I never even played Magic the Gathering, and I know what the fuck a Black
I
Lotus is.
sold my collection, and every time
Do
I
you
go
notice
on,
how I stopped and turned and looked at you like you had a what?
every time I go on eBay, here, let's see, eBay, right? Black Lotus, I cry just a little bit. Lotus,
Oh.
MTG, they are going for. What? Can you read that? Is that $10,000?
No, that's
That one is wrong.
as I said. That looked
That's $20,000
yeah, there's $20,000 for that one.
for
I was like,
a
the one-
vintage,
the
and
one
this is
said
a
$1 million. I was
damaged.
like-
This is damaged.
And it's $20,000.
Yeah, but look at this one, Alpha, $120,000.
Yep.
No, look where the commas are. Yeah, that's $1.2 million for that card.
Jesus Christ!
Is
That's
it-
$1.2 million for that card.
Is graded, isn't it?
Yes, this one's $14,000 for an unlimited Magic.
That's $1.2 million fucking dollars for a card.
That's insane.
I knew that comma wasn't wrong. That first one was $999,000.
There was-
I thought to myself, that can't be right.
No, it's right. It's right.
Every now and then somebody finds like unopened boxes and packs. Like recently,
Oh, and $1,000 shipping? Fuck you! Your shipping is too. It's a card.
It's
No.
free.
This
asshole.
shit better be driven
No.
to my
the,
house.
the shipping is him on the plane,
Yes.
clutching it for dear life,
Yeah.
making sure you get the
All right,
fucking
all
card.
right, let's go into this real quick, and we'll start with Eddie. Worst gift given or received?
Recently, it was more of a gag gift, but it was a giant pair of Superman tidy whities,
Oh, yeah?
which became a excellent gift when I gave them to RJ for next year for Christmas.
Ian?
God bless my mother, because she's also responsible for all the wonderful gifts that I got. Like
Yes,
the
yes.
video games. Thank you, Mom. Excellent. But at the same time, the older I get, I start to say, Mom, I don't want anything. Mom, I don't need anything. Mom,
Right,
please
right.
don't get me anything. I just want to spend time with my family.
Yeah.
The gifts have just progressively gotten worse. And like, look, it's a rock salt lamp or something
Yeah.
to ease your anxiety for school. I'm like, fuck. And like another one, she'll be like, look, it's a scarf, and I'm like, Mom, I live in Florida. Like I live in arguably the hottest goddamn state in the entire.
We now
country.
know why he was wearing a scarf.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Or it'll be like it's a heating pad for your back. I'm like, Mom, this is like a $50 fucking heating pad, you know? Now, granted, sometimes it's funny. She'll get like a matching anime pants and shirt for me and Shay,
Yeah.
and then we have to put them on together and take a picture.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mom, I'm 36.
I-
Anyway, it's like, I don't know. It's
for me, I would say roughly 20, 25 years ago. Maybe, yeah. My younger sister was born in November, so that's kind of like a really shitty Christmas gift to get in December. So I would definitely say the worst Christmas gift I got the year my little sister was born was her.
wow.
We all got less gifts
Wow.
that year.
Wow.
I should have got a better gift, but you were born. Oh, in November. Oh, good for you.
Oh, wow.
And on that note,
Wow.
thank you for joining us at the Sofa Kingdom podcast, where we hate our siblings.
Not
Not all
our
of us.
siblings.
Not all of us. Not all of them. Some of them are really good.
Right here.
Yeah. No, this guy's all right. You can find us on all your social media platforms at.
Sofa Kingdom OFC,
You can find us on YouTube at.
Sofa Kingdom Podcast.
Don't forget, start sending some questions, video questions. Hit
Ask
us up
us
on
stuff.
IG. We'll answer your shit on the podcast.
Our wisdom is priceless.
This is correct.
Also, send us Christmas cards.
Yeah. If
like
you need
that.
good, solid advice, Eddie's here. If you
Yeah.
need really shitty advice, me and Ian are here.
That's right. Spread the holiday cheer.
Yes. That's not the only thing.
Yeah. That's the only thing we're spreading this time of year. Oh, why do you think I was
Tis
late?
The season. I gotta see Violet Night. I gotta make it my business to see that movie.
We should probably all see it together.
All right, I'm done.
I mean, that's
It looks funny.
yeah. Also, today in the UFC, Patty Pimblett fighting, right? He's fighting Jared Gordon. Fights out of South Florida. And Patty said that Die Hard wasn't a